Hello students, welcome to my class. In today's class, we are going to start biochemistry course and we will go through basics to advanced level of biochemistry. So let's start. So first we will start with the properties of water. Basically water is a polar molecule, okay, and it interacts through various bonds. For example, it has electrostatic interaction. It also forms hydrogen bonds. It also interacts via hydrophobic bonds and van der Waal forces. Okay, so electrostatic means A plus B minus, right? So here oxygen is there which might interact with the positive, positively charged ion, which is also called as cation. Hydrogen bonding, for example, um, there is NH2 group. Okay, so here it is interacting via hydrogen bond. So N and H are interacting via hydrogen bond. Okay, now hydrophobic bonds. So hydrophobic means repelling water. So there is an interaction where repulsion happens. Okay, so basically the lipid or kind of hydrophobic fatty acids or um, hydrophobic molecules interact with water in a repulsive way. Van der Waal interactions, so it is dependent on the distance. Okay, so if they are too close, there will be van der Waal interaction. Now ionization. So how does water ionizes? H plus OH minus, isn't it? Okay, so here it is ionization. Here K equilibrium constant is equals to H plus OH minus H2O, which is equal to H plus OH minus divided by 55.5. Okay, so here if we multiply equilibrium constant with the concentration of water, which is 55.5, then what we will get? Kw. Okay, so Kw is nothing but K equilibrium constant multiplied by, which is equal to H plus concentration OH minus concentration. So the value of Kw at 25 degree Celsius is how much? It is equal to 1 into 10 to the power minus 14 at 25 degree Celsius. For pure water, so for pure water, so there is nothing inside, there is no acid or base in it, then H plus ion concentration will be equal to OH minus ion concentration, which will be half of this one. How it would be? Okay, so this is for pure water, and so that is why Kw is equal to this much, and for pure water each of the ion concentration is 1 into 10 to the power minus 7. Now coming to the definition of pH and pOH. What is pH and pOH? pH is equals to minus log H plus ion concentration. pOH, what is pOH? Minus log OH minus ion concentration. Always remember here base is 10, log base 10. Now pKw, what is pKw? Minus log of Kw, which is equal to pH plus pOH, which is equal to 14. So pKw, what is the value of pKw? pKw is 14. Now pKa, what is pKa? Minus log Ka. Okay, so minus log Ka is pKa. Now coming to the buffers. What are buffers? Buffer is a solution which resists change in the pH by addition of small amount of acid or base in it. It is generally a mixture of weak acid and the salt of that acid, or weak base or the salt of that weak base. Okay, so generally it is weak acid and its salt. Okay, so now there is an equation pH is equals to pKa plus log A minus divided by HA. So consider an acid which will dissociate into H plus plus A minus. Okay, so in that case pH is equals to pKa plus log concentration of A minus divided by HA concentration. Okay, so this is called as Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. This is called as Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. This is used to calculate pH of buffers. Okay, now coming to the solving pH problems. How do we solve pH problems? Strong acid and strong bases are completely dissociated. So whenever they say it is strong acid, then it is completely dissociated. So H plus ion concentration in case of strong acid will be equal to normality of acid. Okay, now pH is equals to minus log H plus ion concentration. Okay, in this way you will get the pH of the strong acid if you know the normality of the acid. For example, if it is 0.01 normal HCl, Then they ask what is the pH. So you will apply this equation. pH is equals to minus log H plus ion concentration. Here H plus ion concentration is nothing but normality of the acid. Then what you will do? You will put log H in place of H plus ion concentration, you will put normality. So what is normality here? 0.01. Okay. So which will be pH will be equal to, in this case, will be equal to 2. So the pH of 0.01 normal HCl is 2. Okay. Now coming to the chemical bonding. So there are different types of bonds. For example, ionic bond. What is ionic bond? It is present between the ions. For example, NaCl, Na plus and Cl minus. Okay, so these compounds will split into the ions when they are dissolved in water. Okay, when they are present in water, they will become ions. Okay, and they will conduct the electricity. Okay, so in this case here, one of the atom will donate 2 electrons to the other atom, and the electrons will move around both the atoms. Okay, so one is donor, one is acceptor. Now coming to the covalent bond. What is covalent bond? Here each atom will donate one or more electrons to the bond. For example, in case of um, methane, CH4. Here Here one electron is donated by carbon, one electron is donated by hydrogen, and both the electrons will move around both carbon and hydrogen. Okay, so there are single bond, double, and triple bond. This is single bond or C bond C, double bond and triple bond, like this. Now there is also hydrogen bonds. As I told earlier, hydrogen bonds involve the atoms with high electronegativity and hydrogen. So if there is an atom of high electronegativity, for example, oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine, okay, then they will involve in the hydrogen bonding. Then there is also van der Waals forces and other weak bonds. So these are like weak forces that can bond like atoms together, especially in case of a chain of carbon atoms. Okay, so there is a long chain of carbon atoms. There is long alkyl chain. These two alkyl chains will interact with each other. Van der Waals forces. So bigger atoms bigger molecules come together, they interact, and what is the bond? In that case, it is van der Waals force. It may also occur because of the temporary dipole formation within the bonds. Okay. Now coming to the bioenergetics. What is bioenergetics? Bioenergetics is study of energy production, energy producing and energy utilizing systems within the cells or organisms. Okay, so there are majorly two types of pathways. What are these two type of pathways? Catabolic and anabolic. Both the pathways will constitute metabolism. Metabolic pathways. So catabolic pathways will result into generation of energy by transformation or oxidation of bigger molecules. So here in the catabolic pathways, the bigger molecules, the larger molecules are broken down into smaller molecules, and energy is energy is released. In case of anabolic pathway, smaller molecules are converted into larger molecules, and here energy is consumed. Now coming to the laws of thermodynamics. So laws of thermodynamics can be applied to biological pathways. What are different laws of thermodynamics? First law of thermodynamics. First law. What does it say? First law. Energy may be converted from one form to another, but in a system, it remains constant. So here it is also called as law of conservation of energy. So here energy may be converted from one form of one form to another, but in total in a system remains constant. Okay, for example, glucose is converted into lactic acid or lactate plus ATP. Okay, next, second law. Second law defines entropy. Delta S. Entropy is a measure of disorder. Or randomness. Okay, so what happens? All the systems tend to progress towards maximum entropy. So all systems will tend to move towards increase in entropy. Okay, maximum entropy. They try to reach maximum entropy. Okay, third is third law of thermodynamics. third law, it defines free energy delta G. Free energy is actually available for useful work. For useful work. Delta G is equals to delta H minus T delta S. Okay, here delta H is equals to change in enthalpy. Delta S is change in entropy. Change. And T is the temperature in Kelvin. Okay, for exergonic reactions, exergonic. For exergonic reactions, delta G is equals to negative. Free energy is lost. This is spontaneous. It is occurring automatically. It is spontaneous reaction, exergonic. And okay, so endergonic. For endergonic reactions, delta G is equals to positive. It requires energy for reaction to proceed. Delta G is greater than 0. It is not spontaneous. Now at equilibrium, delta G is equals to 0. So reaction is at equilibrium, then delta G is equals to 0. So that's all for today, everyone, and thank you for attending my class and then watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And in the next class, I am going to tell more details about this free energy change and what are the properties. Free energy is additive, and how do we solve the numericals of thermodynamics related to the